To Mark from marksefton.com. Great to have you join me today. I've had the privilege of people starting to comment and communicate with me on YouTube and via email. I really appreciate all your comments and your thoughts. And I've had somebody come to me and say, Mark, would you do a video on depression and dealing with negative and dark thoughts? And anybody who knows me well will know that I like a challenge. Now, I'm not portraying that I'm an expert, but the more that I thought about depression, it's not something that I've avidly been involved in. I remember in my teenage years, certainly having some mental challenges around identity and around my own kind of understanding of who I was, and I was bullied, and it was difficult, and so yeah, there were some dark times there where I constantly was trying to find out who I was and what my place was. And there's a number of things that I really want to focus on today, and there's some nuggets that I really want to share with you that I feel that if you do a couple of these will really start to help wage the war on depression. The opposite of depression is vitality. It's about finding that energy, that passion, that drive, that pep, that zest. In order to create a lifestyle of vitality, we can do a number of things that can encourage, that can mould, that can strengthen a life of vitality, because the problem with depression is it's so focused on your here and now. It focuses you and draws off all the negative and dark things that are going on in your life. And really, I don't want to focus on depression. I want to focus on vitality. Vitality is going to be the weapon that is going to kick depression in your life into the gutter. And I want to pull you out of the gutter and really encourage you with some simple but effective tools that I think will really help you create a life of vitality, which is really what I want for you in particular. First point is gratitude. I talk about gratitude a lot. Having gratitude and creating a life of gratitude, which I do daily, creates an abundance mindset. It shifts me, and it will shift you from what you don't have onto what you do. And I love it. I have to say, every night, it doesn't matter if I've had a bad day or a good day, I'll write at least 3 things that I'm grateful for. And it's a great way to start. Again, it shifts you from your problem to a solution. And it's a very simple thing that we can do. The problem with depression, as I've already alluded to, is the fact that it does constantly just focus you on what is going wrong. And, it just eats away at you. I really want to encourage you that regardless of what you're going through, there's things in your life that you can be grateful for. The second point is praise. Now, I believe in God, and so my life is a life of praise. I take that gratitude, those things that have come into my life, and I'm conscious of giving praise to my Creator, who's given me the opportunity. He's put blood that pumps warmly around my body. He's put air in my lungs so that I can breathe, and I'm conscious of that. And I'm aware of that, and while I take opportunities, and to a degree I create because of the fact that it's in my Creator's DNA, and we're often a result of what we have created. And so praise for me is an important part of creating vitality and just being thankful and just encouraging that positivity in your life. Third point is associations. The people that you associate with are really important. Those people that speak lowly of you, and they're negative, and they manipulate, and they control, and they bully, and they bruise, and they are very subtle but sneaky, and they just take from you. They're the people you want to get rid of. Get passionate and get bullish about the people that you hang around with. Your life depends on it. Your own sanity depends on it. And I see too many people that allow stupid people to really speak into their life where they have no grounds and no permission and no authority, and you just allow people to dictate and manipulate you. And I want to encourage you and strengthen you. You need to wake up. You've got to smell the roses. The people that you associate with will either pull you down or they will fire you up. And my life's full of people that fire me up, that believe in me, that encourage me, that champion me, that applaud me, that, they tell me when I'm doing something wrong. I've got people in my life that tell me what I need to hear, not just what I want to hear. You need to rid yourself of the people that just suck. like leeches. They just take. You've got to take care of yourself. When you're in an airplane and the altitude goes and the oxygen masks drop, you naturally want to help others. But when you're constantly helping others and you're not helping yourself, you can actually cause more pain. And in an airplane, you're supposed to put your own oxygen mask on before you help your children, before you help your parents, before you help your friends and your family. You've got to take care of you, because not just your life that depends on it, but also those people around you. But it's got to start with you. The next point is you've got to quieten your mind. Burnout results in depression. When you're constantly giving, you're full octane. I work with a lot of people that are 110 miles per hour. They do achieve a lot. They are persistent and they have a strong work ethic, which are great ingredients and great characteristics if you want to make a business. But you know what? There's actually more power, more benefit of taking time out to rest and recover, to allow your mind to breathe. With all the noise, with all the distractions, with all the ongoing different situations and scenarios you could go, all the things on TV, the things in the media, the things that are in our face constantly, the people we hang around with, the news, it's all just a voice. You've got to take time out. You've got to get away. You've got to allow yourself to breathe. You've got to enjoy your own company. You've got to stop people pleasing and start pleasing yourself and start pleasing your Saviour or your God. And that, I appreciate that looks different for everybody, but you've got to take time out, some headspace where you go on a walk and you create an atmosphere where you can just be alone with yourself, which sounds like a crazy thing if you're struggling with depression, to be alone, because a lot of people, they just start to focus on yourself. But when I have alone time, it's really when I quieten myself and I draw from a faith and a God who cares about me, and I draw a lot of my pleasure from that. And that's why I have a lifestyle of prayer, because it empties my heart of my cares, and it gets rid of the anxiety when you start to feed into somebody who's bigger than you and stronger than you and really can relate to you. Really important to just take time out to be quiet. The next point is to share love. Be a person of love. And there's a proverb that says, he who refreshes others will be refreshed. And so if you're struggling at the moment, you're having a hard time with who you are, how you look, how you think, how your life is, your situation, let me remind you, your circumstances and your situations don't define who you are. You've really got to stop that and stop allowing that kind of thought to manifest itself in your life. One of the great ways you do that is you go help somebody else. You go find somebody who's struggling, who's having a hard time, and you go and encourage them, and it shifts from you onto them. And that's so important, that if you want to refresh yourself, you go and refresh somebody else. It's amazing the times where I haven't felt great about myself, but I've wanted to find a way out, and I've done that often by helping somebody. Maybe it might be an older person that I help walk across the street, maybe it would be a text that I send and just say, I really appreciate you. And I found that the times where I've helped somebody else, it's naturally affected the way that I think and the way that I feel. The seventh point is to forgive others. Forgiveness is for your benefit. When you hold a grudge against somebody, it's you who's in chains, not them. It's not just the pain and the whole emotion of what they did to you. You allow them to continue to lord over you and trap you, and it actually holds you back from other relationships and other opportunities that come your way. And you can never fully immerse yourself in a relationship when you've got this ongoing issue of forgiveness. And so forgiveness isn't about letting them get away with it. It's actually allowing you to walk again and breathe again and allow your heart to beat again. You've got to release that person that's hurt you. It's a massive danger to stay in an area of victimhood. We've all had things that have been done to us, some more extreme than others, which isn't fair, and life isn't fair, but you can't stay in a place of victimhood. You've got to go beyond that. You've got to find some courage deep within you and let it go. because it's for your benefit. And the last point really is to forgive yourself. There's too many people that are walking around with guilt and shame and blame for the things they've done. And yes, you may have done something wicked or wrong or something you regret. Sadly, we all have. We've all done something wrong, some bigger than others, but a mistake's a mistake. And it's really time for you to draw a line in the sand and forgive yourself and move on and allow healing to come into your life so that you can take hold and create a life of vitality and of abundance. Because I make mistakes daily, and I'm not perfect, and I'm certainly not God. I'm a work in progress. But one thing I know is nobody else can control my thinking but me. And yes, there's temptations, there's voices, and there's all kinds of suggestions, and sometimes I buy into them, and sometimes I allow somebody else to dictate a decision I make. But I'm fundamentally responsible, and I want to empower you that if you start to do some of the things I've mentioned, some real simple things, I really believe they'll unlock the key and really help you create a life of vitality. That's where your focus is. Stop focusing on the depression and on what's wrong, and start focusing on what's right and creating a lifestyle of vitality. You can find out more about me on Sephton.com, and I hope this was of value to you. I certainly had an interesting journey putting a few things together.